It's all you.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Colt Cumpton, your current AjPHA president. I'd like to welcome all of you here to the 2013 Leadership Conference, and I hope by the end of the weekend you would have made a lot of new friendships and learned many different new things. I'm going to visit with you today about some of the activities I've been involved in during my 9 years in the AjPHA. I'm also going to talk to you about some of the leadership, characteristics of a leader in my perspective today also. So how many of you have been to a workshop before? A good number of you, and I know I've seen a lot of new faces this year. Who all's new this year? So yeah, still got a lot of new faces this year. So that's good. Is everyone having fun so far? Yeah, that's good. So some of the activities I've been involved with this year on the road, I guess I can start. Well, in June, I became the first president from Missouri, which was pretty big in Missouri at the time. And then I moved into July, and then I went to the Illinois State Fair in Springfield, Illinois. We set up a table and display at right in front of where the gate is, and we and promoted paints and my presidential project, Paint Our Country Proud. I also attended the Missouri State Fair 4-H Horse Show in Sedalia, Missouri, and we went and visited with many of the paint owners there. We handed out AjPHA promotional items and journals. And next in July, we went to Paint Congress in Kansas City. We drove from Sedalia during the 4-H show to Congress for that one evening for the benefit walk-trot class that was held that evening, and it raised quite a bit of money, and then we drove back to Sedalia. Then in August, I attended a paint show in Des Moines, Illinois, and I was able to visit with a lot of youth there, and I brought AjPHA backpacks and more promotional items and handed out a lot of all the stuff in the bags and everything. In September, I went to, well, not in September, but throughout the year, the Missouri Paint Horse Club held benefit walk-trot classes for me. Pretty much every big show, wasn't it? It was every big show that we had in Missouri. We held a benefit class there, and we were able to raise quite a bit of money doing that. And then also in September, I attended the Dixie Paint Horse Club's Horses for Heroes show in Tampa, Florida, and I helped raise money for veterans at the Smart Therapeutic Riding Facility through their Chinese auction. Pretty much everyone, the items they brought down there were amazing. I mean, they had a big old bucket full of horse, wraps and stuff for your horse, and they even had little chicks, like little chickens that they also had that in there too. A Chinese auction pretty much is you have your raffle tickets, and then they have these little Chinese boxes that you can put your tickets in. So the tickets were $1 a piece, and I think I've sold at least a couple thousand of those things. At least a little over 1,000 of those tickets that weekend, and it went over really well. Also in September, I attended the American Royal Parade honoring our nation's veterans in Kansas City, Missouri. We helped with the chairman's posse, and we carried the AjPHA, MJPHC, and Paint Our Country Proud banners, and this event was televised. And then at the end of that September, we attended the Splash of Color Paint Horse Show in Carthage, Missouri, and it held a benefit walk-trot class there for us. And then moving on to November, I worked at the APHA Fall World Show in Fort Worth, Texas, handing out prizes and doing pretty much anything that they wanted me to do. Then, at the end of November, I went to the Zone 5 show in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They held a benefit walk-trot class there, and we sold a lot of Paint Our Country Proud t-shirts, which I know my little brothers are wearing them today, and then I know you were wearing them yesterday. They were awesome. And then, moving into December, I worked with show management at the Holiday Classic in Oklahoma City. We gave away the Paint Our Country Proud t-shirts and caps to the exhibitors in the therapeutic riding class that were there. And then moving into January, I spent a day at the Smart Therapeutic Facility in But we attended the SMART facility, and we pretty much got a tour of the whole place. And this is where pretty much my presidential project originated. And I did not know, but my family held a surprise birthday celebration cookout for my 19th birthday there. And there were a lot of veterans, my family, and volunteers, and of course the amazing therapeutic horses. It was a very, very good time. And then at the end of January, my family and I worked at the Zone 3 show at the National Western Stock Show. Really good show. We handed out awards, worked at the APHA booth, and interacted. And there's an interactive educational exhibit, and we visited many of the people and the people about paints. And then after that show, we visited the Hearts and Horses Therapeutic Riding Center in Loveland, Colorado, for the day. And then there's a lot of veterans in the program, volunteers, staff, and more amazing therapy horses. We visited then after that, we visited the Pat Intel headquarters there, and I had Cowboy Bronze donated me a sculpture called Paradise. It had the horse, and then there's the wheelchair kind of at the end. I don't know if we have a picture of that.
Is that it?
No. Oh, yes, that's it. Sorry, I didn't see that. I gave that to them, and it's in their office to this day. And I think there's another picture in there at the facility that, that one.
This one?
Yes, ma'am. That was at the Colorado, that was at the Hearts and Horses, and then this is their new horse. It's a Frisian they brought in. That's their new face of the Veterans Program, and they let me ride that horse. And it was a dressage horse, too. Dressage, and very, very pretty horse. And then on to March, we went and worked at March the Arch, and I helped Robert Dean set up the trail course, and we pretty much worked the whole day there and did whatever they wanted me to do too. And then after that, I worked at the Zone 6 show in Tunica, Mississippi, and I helped Robert Dean with the trail course there also. And it was a highlight at that show because we got to see Banks finally get back up on a horse that show. It was very, 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 very good after his accident that we had to see him back up on a horse. And then I also have been raising money with the Panther Country Proud t-shirts, and then also I started a tack drive because a lot of therapeutic facilities need tack, and then I've been working on gathering tack. We've been hauling these big buckets of tack in the back of our trailer at every show, and we've been gathering more of that. And then into April, we attended Lincoln, Nebraska for the Spring Paint Horse Show, and I had a blast of being part of the Celebrity Goat Tying Contest there, raising money for the Children's Make-A-Wish Foundation. And that was definitely an interesting class. I think that'd be something good that we could do as a fundraising class in the future, because especially for people who've never handled a goat before, it is very entertaining. JT Mitchell, he was up there, and of course he's a big halter guy. He went up there and tried to get the goat, and it kept getting up on him, and he couldn't get it, and he'd sit there and tighten, and the goat got back up, and then he had to retie him again. It was fun stuff. And then in May, we attended the Splash Color Show in Carthage, Missouri on Saturday. I was able to help show management as being a ring steward that whole day. And I got to tell you, I have a better appreciation for our ring stewards because that is not the easiest job. And then at the end of May, we attended the Missouri Paint Horse Club Memorial Weekend Show. I helped show management with setting up trail, working the gate, and scribing quite a bit that weekend. And we promoted my tack drive. And then next little tidbit I'm going to talk to you about stuff that you could possibly do at your local club. It isn't that hard to do some of this stuff. I mean, like if you're interested in being more involved with your local clubs at shows, I have a few suggestions for you. You can talk with show managers and help with jobs at the show, such as scribing trail. The judges are really cool and will show you how to score it. And you can, of course, help with the setting up trail. During the Memorial Weekend show, you do get some interesting judges that you can scribe because there's this one judge. He was from Canada, and he was an honorary judge. Let me just say that he was honorary. I was sitting there trying to scribe for him, and he's sitting there saying stuff, the most random stuff about the trail course, and I'm sitting there trying to scribe for him. He's making me laugh the whole time, and everyone's looking at me like I can't help it. He was being real funny. And you can also talk with the show managers about helping with jobs at the show, such as, I already said that. Something you can do for the younger kids is to have an area for them to hang out. Like at the MPHC shows, we have a little stall for everyone, for the youth kids, with games, food, and every Friday night before the shows, we hold our meetings with a meal, and we also plan activities, fundraisers, and fun clinics. You can also plan bake sales, a silent auction, or anything with food goes really well. I gotta admit, anything with food can go over well. The easiest way to get started is just to ask your manager of the show, or any show faculty members that are working the show, if they see you want to help, they can usually find you something to do, or they can get in touch with someone who can organize an activity you want to hold. So what are some of the things that you guys do at local shows that help your youth club? Is there anything you guys like to do? Yes, Rhonda?
Well, at the memorial show, during the trail, I sat next to the announcer, and whenever a horse went over one of the poles, I got to go check it and set the coach and set it.
Yeah, you did a good job. You did a really good job. Is there anyone else that has anything that they've done at shows that was pretty beneficial to the youth club and they'd like to help them?
We've been laminating numbers to raise money for our youth.
That's really good too. Laminating the numbers and
Sorry. You can go first.
Okay. Yes.
At our Jersey show, we do the training one, where they basically for class, and then they have a dress up,
That's really neat.
Working the gate is like really beneficial to anybody because you get to learn everybody's name and you get to speak to everybody why they go in to class because you're out there, you're making sure everybody's lined up, and it's just a great way to meet all your youth or adults even.
Yeah, it is. It is. Working at the gate, I mean, you get to meet all the people that go in, and you get to see a lot of, and they also see that you're working. Yes, ma'am.
At our youth show, everybody from the youth club donates a basket, a silent auction, and then the money goes towards the club.
That's really cool. That's really good. Yes, ma'am.
At a lot of the shows, I even help with the secretary when she's putting in entries.
They do appreciate that. Definitely. That's really good. Okay. And I'm going to conclude with you today on traits of a leader from my perspective. Being caring and considerate of people and their feelings, respect and listen to their ideas, be organized, wise, and knowledgeable, friendly, honest, and truthful, but most of all, being able to take initiative and apply your strengths in any situation when no one else might be able to. There are a lot of times that you may have to put your personal wants and thoughts aside. You may also have to remain neutral when you want to be opinionated. Self-discipline is a must. Passion for what you love and believe in is also a must. There really isn't anything special about me. I'm just a kid that's grown up on the farm and ranch, and I have a love for horses and people, and I do anything for them. And, you all are special, and you can be anyone you want to be, even the president of the AjPHA, even if you want to. So, is there any questions that you all have for me, or good? Alrighty, I thank you all for listening to me today.
Well, thank you, Colt.